Can you win while only playing Killjoy? A question debated for about 6 or 7 years that nobody seems to have the answer to. Except one man. Me, the chosen one. I have been described by some to be the most humble man who has ever lived, and I would have to agree on that. And to prove it, I'm going to only play Killjoy in Ranked. So what's step 1 to becoming the most dominant Killjoy player who's ever roamed the earth? Well, it's obviously to throw your molly and dome your enemies in the head like you're an athlete swinging a baton at your opponent and then getting the Helen Keller special, of course. And yes, before you say something, my immune system has failed me once again and I'm sick. Sick at this game? Not really, though. I actually am sick and it fucking... Would one of you mind taking care of this for me? Thanks, I really would appreciate that. Killjoy is great. It allows you to force enemies to quarantine faster than the government did in 2020, but by no means does that mean you'll win. Kinda like how I still got COVID in 2020 and nobody else around me did. That just doesn't seem fair at all. Now in Eco Round, your job is to do all you can. Getting one kill is fine here, and with the smoothest, calmest aim you've ever seen, we get the job done. Now, sometimes closing your eyes and letting God take the wheel is the only way to get to your destination, and once you've arrived at your house after hitting a deer, the guardrail, and a family of 4, you're ready to spray your enemies down through a phoenix wall. As I always say, LYL, what does that stand for? Learn your lineups. It's gonna pay off. Please never try this. The one time it works and you getting 3 does not make up for the 49 other times you get insta-domed. Now imagine that you're the Ravens on defense on a Sunday night. All you want to do is stop the Buffalo Bills. So what do? Put a Killjoy ult down, of course. But all of a sudden you realize that you're playing against Josh Allen dressed up as Killjoy. Not only that, I made sure to LYL. So the retake is free. If any of you are Ravens fans, I am so sorry, but man, that game, that was fucking incredible. And for all my NFL fans, drop your team in the comments and let me know what record you think the New York Giants are going to finish with. Locking down sights on Killjoy is like watching Angel Reese put up 20 rebounds off of her own missed layups. It's what she was meant to do. Just remember, you are still playing a Sentinel, so placing something for flank is very important. Don't forget this or else your team will start yelling slurs at you. But hey, sometimes you gotta be the guy. Battle Killjoy will always be the way to get wins if necessary. On offense, not defense. Please do not swing out on defense. Killjoy ult is built for 2 things, taking sites and retaking sites. In this case, a simple site execute is all it takes. While we did enter site a bit early, it can make sense to try and collapse on enemies while they're worried about escaping the range of our ult. Just remember, sometimes you don't need utility. Don't even trip flank. It was definitely on purpose this round and not that I forgot to do it, which could have ended extremely poorly had the other team decided to flank, and we got bailed out by the fact that they let me fight them 4 separate times, which I won because I'm the greatest player to ever touch this game. Now with ult down, there's only one way we lose, and that's if someone flanks, so let's just take him out. We simply just gotta kill them, foil their plans, and with that, this site take is yours. But that's not all that you have to do this round. Your job is to still stall out enemies by placing mollies, holding angles, and making sure the enemies aren't able to push them. In a 4v1, rounds aren't guaranteed yet, and with your turret going off, we know exactly where they are to close out the round. Your alarm bot is great for pre-fires. If you aim correctly, as soon as your alarm bot triggers, just shoot and the kill's basically yours. Now all that's left is to reposition and swiftly take out the competition after they continue to not spray you through the box. Take the kill, I guess. Killjoy's alarm bot and molly is her best combo. It's also the safest since you can sit behind a wall and just activate your molly for kills. If you didn't know, Killjoy also has flashes. These are meant to cause confusion to your opponents. Now watch as this brilliant hold comes to fruition. Look at the fake flash. He has no idea where he's going. Now watch as this brilliant hold comes to fruition. As the enemies throw every single piece of utility that has ever been added to this game, including the agents that aren't even being played, we only have one option, and that is to run in while blind and smoked off from any real fight so that we die while not only getting no kills or damage, but also no information on anyone since I was blind the entire time. That's how to play Killjoy. Sometimes just running it down on flank is your best option. If the enemies aren't paying attention to you, use that. If you didn't know, they still are able to turn around and kill you, but for some reason they don't. Just look at this molly. This Sage has no idea where she's going, but she still kills my teammate, which is a little awkward. But hey, the site take is ours. We got bomb and we know exactly where they are. Don't know why Jet players insist on taking the entire site by themselves, basically guaranteeing that they won't take control or win a fight since they're entering a Sentinel site alone with no backup. But I'll take the kill, I guess. As I was saying, just run it down flank and kill them, and then all you have to do is make a single declaration.
Fight me.
Wow, did you hear the energy? Wow, I suck. Duelists? Never heard of them. I'll just do it myself. I don't need entry util when I have aim handed down for me from the heavens themselves. Now, how do you think you should play on a Killjoy ult? Should you A, swing enemies before it pops, basically negating any effect it had and destroying your chances to win, or would you wait and just play with the ult? Well, if you said A, then I believe we've met before. In this game specifically, because why on God's green earth would you fight? They can't go anywhere, and I've given them such small space that they have in bend, and that could easily be collapsed on if we have all 4 people alive. But no, let's just push and leave me in a 1v2 in the worst situation possible when it was an easy 4v3 retake with Killjoy ult. Your mollies are also great for retakes. It allows you to clear corners without actually having to clear them, and remember, your life is always worth a Killjoy ult. Allowing your team to be able to fight without having to worry about it is always worth it, so I'll take the sacrifice 10 out of 10 times. In my last video, which you should all definitely go watch after this one, I said how a good offense for a controller is one where you don't see any enemies, and that's the same for defense with sentinels. If you're able to stall out almost the entire round off of a few mollies and an alarm bot, then I'd say you're doing your job. Force the enemy to rush because rushing leads to mistakes, and mistakes lead to dragging your team down. That's not quite my tempo.
Was I edging or was I gooning?
Your ult could be great in spots like these where you can literally ult off every single point so there's nothing they can do. Now all it takes is having some patience, and then all of a sudden the entire site is yours. There's nowhere the enemies are able to play, and you guys basically get to take the site for free as enemies rush into your crosshair. Now in a 4v1 with Bomb Planet and Killjoy having nowhere to play off of, we could just defuse for free. And just like that, the entire site is yours, just like a deck of cards in a Barnes & Noble. If you know, you know. 1v4s are so incredibly easy, especially when it looks like the enemy is gift wrapping it for you. Just take what you're given. If they want you to win the round, don't deny them of what you want. Now, you guys know that Killjoy is great for taking sites, but what happens when you actually take the site? Well, let's imagine this scenario, and we're bringing back the frat analogy. This time, imagine that you're the frat guy Brad. Frat guy Brad only wants girls to come to his parties. Brad is 5'2" and needs as many opportunities as possible to talk to women since he's not that great at it. So what does he do to stop guys from getting into his party? He places swarm grenades at the door so he can pop them if any guys get anywhere near the house. And that's like Valorant. Placing your mollies at choke points to prevent them from getting onto your site. That's the easiest way to take rounds. Now another option that you have if you take site is you can also molly the bomb, so if they wind up taking the site, they can't defuse, or you can use your Odin to massacre anything and everything in your path before waiting until the enemy steps forward, so that you can use your mollies, which never happens because your teammate actually winds up cleaning up the round. But a round's a round, and we don't even have to use our mollies. Now while Killjoy may not have engage abilities, she can still use her mollies to clear angles, like logs on Ascend. It's one less angle to worry about, which gets us kills on retakes because we can be a little bit faster without having to clear that extra angle. Now, this is a round I would do anything to get back. We're in a 3v1, and once we take this fight, we already are on low HP. But we're able to secure 2 eliminations by isolating our fights. And once we do this, we see something. We now have our ult up in a 1v1. So what do? We place it. This is the perfect spot for a Killjoy ult because it literally forces them to come out, because if they don't, they die. So what do we try to do? Get CT. Unfortunately, he sees us, but we're able to get there without his gun out, and we place the molly, and we make a severe miscalculation. We think he can't run through it. He does. I'm distracted, and I whiff. I would do anything for that round back. As I'm sure you guys are aware, defense is obviously her strong suit, so play off of it. Sit back site, let your util give you full information that you can then use to swing off of. You should never be taking dry fights as your first engagement on this character, unless you're playing Retake Simulator. Then you're just cooked. But actually, you really shouldn't be playing Retake Simulator on this character. Even if you need to rotate, just flank. It's not like you have any real fight advantage by rotating through CT. You have no engage ability, so why would you just rotate? Just flank them. You can provide way more use. Even if they know you're flanking, it's still an extra angle they now have to deal with, which can be a huge advantage and all that you need to win rounds. Killjoy's ult is really expensive, so pop it when you have the chance. If you can get 3 ults off in a half, you're doing a great job, and for reference, 3 ults per half is 25% of the rounds played, using an ult, which is great, especially for one that's so expensive to use. Now by this point it's time to consider what we've covered so far. Killjoy is a sentinel who thrives off of playing off of util when you're not playing Retake Simulator, but if you are playing Retake Simulator, remember, you're doing something wrong, so just flank them. When you're on offense, just place util to hold flank and hit your shots, that's all you can really do. That way, you'll win the round. With aim, you'll win rounds, you'll win games. It's as simple as that. Now finally, on offense, one final technique. This technique is so incredibly simple that I can't believe no one uses it more often. I call it the run out with no util and pray that an enemy isn't holding a close angle strategy. So let's do it. We run out, we just run through sight, place our ult down, somehow are able to pick up a kill, and now that we have that kill, we're able to take sight and plant for free. Wait, did that actually work?